Let's talk about sampling. Hi and welcome. So I think most of you are interested in the sample functionality of the Vault of Blofeld. So I decided to make a few videos about it. A few because it's too much for just one video. The whole topic is simply too big. So I decided to split it up into 5 videos. The first one being this one, where we talk about sampling in general and what the Blofeld can do. The second video will be about the license SL and how to activate this function in the Blofeld. The third one will be about audio processing in general, about how to make samples and how to prepare them for the Blofeld. And of course the fourth video will be about how to load the samples into the Blofeld. And of course finally in the fifth video we are going to discuss how to apply these samples in a patch, how to use them, how to play them, and I'm going to show you a few tricks which you can do with the Blofeld. But first of all, let's try to talk about sampling in general, and the main question is, of course, is the Blofeld a sampler? And the answer is clearly no, it isn't. And to understand this, I brought here a few devices with me, which are all samplers. I have a Korg Electribe ESX1 from 2003. Of course, the Waldorf Quantum from 2018, and a EMU ESI 4000 from 1998 or 99, I think. And these 3 devices are all samplers, and you can clearly see it when you have a look on the backside of these devices. They all have audio inputs, which means that you can record audio from external sources directly into the device. This means that you can create audio files with all of these machines, and especially the Waldorf Quantum can also record internal audio, so that you can do resampling and create audio files from what you play from the internal audio. And then you can use this audio file within the Quantum again in the sample playing section. And all of this is of course not possible with the Waldorf Blofeld. So the Blofeld has no audio inputs, it has no internal resampling, and you have to load the samples externally from a computer via USB cable into the Blofeld. So what the Blofeld cannot do is record samples. What the Blofeld also cannot do is doing internal processing of these samples, which means you cannot create loops within the Blofeld. You cannot create multi-sample sets, you cannot cut parts of the samples. You cannot do all of this. You have to do this on your computer, but also you can use samples with loops, but you cannot create the loops or the loop points themselves in the Blofeld. So you have to prepare all the samples within your computer first, and then you can load all the samples and use them within the Blofeld. So the Blofeld is simply a sample player, but it's a huge and powerful sample player. So now we know what you cannot do with the Blofeld. Let's talk about what you can actually do. And the most important thing is that you can use these samples within your audio engine. And this is really nice because you can load a sample set into an oscillator. So you can load up to 2 sample sets because you have oscillator 1 and oscillator 2 both able to load a sample set. And you can use this audio material just like normal oscillators. So you can do frequency modulation or ring modulation. You can put your samples through the filters using the modulation matrix, and of course you can apply the effects on your sample material. What I mentioned is that you can use multi-sample sets. What are multi-samples? Multi-samples means that you can have a sampler program, and this program doesn't consist of just one sample which is pitched down and pitched up through the whole range of keys, but you can define your sample set with the help of multiple samples which you lay on the range of the keys, so that the processing which the Blofeld has to do to pitch your sample up and down is not too big, so that the distortion of this processing is just as small as it can be when you use multiple samples. But I'm going to explain this later in the third or the fourth video. So how many samples can you load into the Blofeld? You can load, I think, up to 1000 samples into the Blofeld, but the Blofeld has a maximum of 60 megabytes of sampling memory in total, which is not really big, but I think it's okay. When you compare it with the EMU ESI 4000, this one was in the standard version with 4 megabyte, and in the maximum version it had 128 megabytes of sampling memory in the 90s. And this is a lot, but the important thing is when you turn off the sampler, all the material gets lost, so that you have to load and store all your samples on an external drive like this one, or you have to load all the samples from a CD player. And you have a more comfortable solution here in the Blofeld. So when you load in all the samples into the internal memory, which has 60 megabytes, you can turn off the Blofeld, you can plug out the cable, and the samples won't get lost. They will remain within the Blofeld. So I think this is nice. And to compare it with all the other synthesizers, so the Blofeld has 60 megabyte of internal storage. It can load mono samples with, I think, 16 bits and 48 kilohertz. You can also load in stereo samples, but the Blofeld will add the right and the left channel to each other to create a monophonic sample again. So you should do the mono processing before you load your sample material into the Blofeld again. This is something what I want to explain later in the third video maybe. The Quantum, of course, has 4 GB of storage, which is extremely huge. And the Electribe can store more or less, I think, 300 seconds of the sampling material, something like that. Okay, so you can load samples into the Blofeld. You need to prepare them with an audio processing tool. I'm going to show this in the third video. And you have to load the samples with a tool from Waldorf, which I'm going to show in the fourth video. Okay, so this was a short look on the sampling function of the Blofeld. I hope to see you in the next few videos about this topic. Leave a comment, make a like or a dislike, and thanks for watching and have a nice day.